research skills when doing storytelling. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find some background on a topic first. You're going to need to do some research. You're going to need to document the story. You're going to need to find data, analyze the data, and gain a strong background of the topic in which you were telling a story about. It also helps develop your writing skills because you'll need to formulate a point based on that research that you did, and you'll need to be able to present that point to your audience. Next, it also helps you develop your organizational skills. You have to manage the scope of the project. You have to manage timelines, the materials you'll need for the project or for the story, and how you plan to implement that to get your viewpoint across. You also will use various technology skills when doing a digital storytelling project. For example, the technology we would be using is Sway, and if you are using a Sway, you can also include videos, audio clips, PowerPoint presentations that you can embed in Sway. So you learn a lot of different skills through technology as well. Then you will also learn about presentation and communication skills. So you're going to need to decide how to best present a story. So this might be through a Sway, it might be through a video, it could be through a news article. There are a bunch of different ways you can tell a story. Communication skills. So when you're telling a story, you will be collaborating with others in the classroom, or you might need to find some information from an outside source. So you're going to learn to work with other people, and that's very important. I think that's something that is not stressed as much with the 21st century skills, but it's still very important. You will also learn problem-solving skills and assessment skills. So you'll learn how to make quick decisions and overcome obstacles, as well as gaining experience in critiquing your work and making improvements based on that, based on the assessment that you do. So to move on just to some quick storytelling ideas, we have a PSA, which is a public service announcement. So you would have to do background on a topic and then develop a viewpoint and present that information to your audience. You can also do a breaking news story or broadcast or news article. You can do a video, movie trailer, timeline. You could do a personal narrative. You could do a story on a piece of literature if you're in an English class. You can also do an historical interview, which is a really popular one that have been done with Sways as well. You can also do a virtual tour, which is very cool. You can actually embed maps into Sways. So you can go to Bing, get an embed code, put it in a map, drop pins, and that can all be done right within Sway. You can do a digital lab report, and you can also do a documentary or a docudrama. And just if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, and I'll be happy to stop and answer any questions. Okay, so these are the most common media types that are used when digital storytelling. So you can include videos, you can include images from the web, you can include music, social media, and charts and documents. And with Sway, you can actually embed a document, a chart, or a PowerPoint presentation right into your Sway. Okay, so now let's go into a quick overview of Sway. So as I said before, it is a completely web-based application, which means you can use it on any device. So you can use it on your phone, you can use it on a tablet, you can use it on a PC or a Chromebook, like I said before, which is really big because I know a lot of schools have gone with the Chromebook route. So all you need is an internet connection and web browser. Sway makes it very, very simple to go from start to finish. They've really streamlined the presentation process with this product. So they make it very simple. It's just drag and drop and click formation. Okay, so another great thing about Sway is unlike PowerPoint or another presentation software where if you're looking for certain videos or images or media types, and you have to go from the application you're using to a web browser to find the file you want to use, and then you save it, and then you have to import it. Sway has the search capabilities built right into it. So what you're able to do, and I'll show you this in a few minutes, is you're actually able to just open up the search box within Sway, and suggested content will pop up for you based on the content that you have in your Sway. Or you can search on your own for images and other media types you would want to include in your Sway. It makes it really, really convenient if you're looking for a picture of, say, a hurricane, and you'd say you have a title of your presentation is Hurricane Sandy. As soon as you click that search box, suggested results for hurricane are already there. You don't even have to type in the word hurricane. So another great feature of Sway is the fact that design is made so simple. So a lot of times with PowerPoint, you're so worried about the design of your presentation, how it's going to look, what transitions should you use, what colors should you use. Sway takes all of that stress away and makes it very simple, and they do the design for you. And there's this really cool feature called Remix, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And you hit the Remix button, and it completely changes the layout and design of your Sway. To give it a completely new look that you can choose to use or not use. And if you don't like it, you can just hit undo, or you can hit remix again and get something else completely different. Basically, it chooses colors based on the content that you have, and it tries to make everything kind of match and go with a particular theme. And another great thing about Sway is that it is collaborative. So basically, you are able to send a link to your peers, and you're able to work on the Sway all at once on one time, which allows for students to work on a group project together. It allows for you to start a project at school and finish it at home. You're able to even share and make a public link, so you can either have people, they have to sign in to view the Sway, or it's public where they can just look at the Sway but they don't have editing access. Or you can give them editing access and multiple people can work on one Sway at one time. Does anyone have any questions so far?
So I do.
Yes.
When you say everyone can work on it at the same time, that's very similar to what we can do when we're working in Google Docs.
Correct. Yes, it's just like Google Docs in the sense that, you could have multiple students on at one time.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Any other questions? No? Okay. Great. Let's move on. So like I said before, it's available on any device. They even have a really nice phone app, which makes it convenient. You can edit your Sways on the go. I know I've done it a couple of times where I've been on the train, going somewhere, and I'll make edits to a last-minute presentation just right from my phone. It's very convenient. Okay, so now we're going to explore Sway really quickly. I'm just going to show you the different menus, and then I'll go to my web browser and show you how to make a quick Sway. So this is what your Sway screen will look like. You'll have up at the top, you'll have an insert tab, you have a cards tab, you have a design tab, and you have a navigation tab. So the cards will show up in this area right here where you see your storyline, and all you do is you click and drag a card into the storyline, and that's how it will show up, and that's the order of everything goes in. So let's go over the menus really quickly. So text, you have two different options. You can either add a heading or a regular body text. And again, the fonts and the size and the colors and everything is automatically formatted by Sway, so you don't have to worry about those design features. You can include media. So like I said, you just click and drag this card to your storyline, and then you can go to the search option and suggested content will pop right up. Another really cool thing about Sway, which I forgot to mention, is that you can actually include social media, live social media streams. So let's say you wanted your students to explore a particular hashtag on Twitter. Maybe it was around the global environment summit in Paris, the climate agreement. You can type in that hashtag, and live tweets around the climate agreement will pop up right into your Sway. You can also embed content. So like I said before, I'm going to show you how to embed a Sway map, or excuse me, a Bing map into Sway. And you can also include different charts and documents. And the other cool thing about Sway with the grouping is it allows you to display content in different ways. So you can have a stack of photos, or you can have a comparison, which is one of my favorites. You can actually include a slideshow. So let's say you had a PowerPoint slide show that you've worked on, you've used for the past 5 years, you've put a lot of work into it. You can include that right into your sway, and all of that hard work is still there, so you don't have to worry about losing that. Or you can also include a grid, which is just, it's a 3x3 grid of pictures that you want to include and have everyone see at once. And there's 3 different navigation types for Sway. So you can either have your content scroll vertically, you can have it scroll horizontally, which is the option that's selected here, or you can have it present more of like a typical PowerPoint presentation where you just see one slide at a time, which is this last option. Okay, so this is the design box. So this is what your, when I talked about all of the different design features and how you don't have to pick what you want your design to look like, you can just go right to here and you can choose a different option, and it will change all of the content in your presentation, so you don't have to go through to individual slides or cards and change everything. Sway just does it for you. Does anyone have any questions?
I just put one in the chat box.
Oh, okay, let me see.
I could just
Yeah, you can just ask it.
Okay, this is Catherine Cartuccio. I'm in the BSN MSN program. So I'm not familiar with this at all. Is this essentially for faculty to use, or could this possibly be the students could use this for an assignment, say like creating a case study?
You could use it both. You could use it both ways. So if you're a teacher and you wanted to create a presentation for your students on a particular topic, you could use Sway to create that presentation, or you could also have students use the software to create the case study like you said. So it's really up to you on how you want to use it. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you an example of a student project as well as a teacher presentation.
Is there a free account option? Usually they have like a free account before.
Yes. So this is actually a completely free software. All you need in order to use it is to create a Microsoft account, because it's all online. So that's where your sways will be saved, is through that Microsoft account.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? No? Okay. And so just the last tab I wanted to go over before I hop into Sway is the the sharing link. So this link right here is how you will share your Sway with others and how you want your content to be shared. So this is your public one, and then this is how you can give different permissions based on what you're using the Sway presentation for. You can either allow viewers to create a duplicate of the Sway, or you can allow them to edit it, not edit it, just view, however you want. Okay. So now I'm going to go into Sway, and I'm going to show you an example.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Oh, yes.
I'm not getting those functions when I go to share. I'm wondering why. Is that something I didn't set up at the beginning, or I need to set up through the university? I only get share with people in my organization.
That would probably be your organizational settings. They might not allow for the public access. It depends on what your Office 365 settings are.
And that's something through the Microsoft Office account.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, yep. Okay. So this is an example of a Sway that a teacher made on quadratic functions. So they chose to have their Sway navigate horizontally. So basically what I do is I use these arrows to the top, or to the, to the bottom right here.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Could you, it looks like on my end anyway, your screen is frozen. Are other people able to see okay?
Mine is kind of like in a swirl looking thing.
Yeah, mine too.
So what I'm going to have you do is, could you click stop sharing your screen and then reshare, and let's see if that kind of resets it.
Okay. Okay, so I stopped. Let's try sharing again.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's fixed for me. Is everybody else okay?
Yes, now we're on a quadratic thing.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So you can see this slide's titled "Going Up and Down the Y-Axis, What Number Changes?" So this would be where the teacher might stop and ask a question of the students and kind of gauge the answers. You click the next, and then this graphic actually shows you what the answer to the question the teacher just asked. Okay, so same thing here. You can include a graphic. You can choose different sizes for your presentation or for your images in your presentation. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so you get the idea here. This is an example of a presentation that a student did. It was an elementary school student on cows. So here you go. You can see they have a nice overview. This one scrolls vertically. They have different images. And the best thing about this is the student probably spent next to no time doing the design of this. They just gathered the content and what they wanted to put in there, and Sway does the rest. Okay. Any questions? Or I'm going to go right now. I'm going to go over to Sway and show you how each of these functions works in real time.
Josh, this is Lynn. I have one question. I haven't seen a button there for adding audio. I see video and graphs and pictures like that one we just saw with the student. Could they have narrated that?
Yeah, so what you can do is you can include audio as cards. And then so what you do is you put the audio card in, you can click play for a certain section. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now I went to sway.com and I logged in. So this is the home screen you will see. Can everyone see it? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new Sway. Okay, so when you begin a Sway, this is what your page will look like. So as you saw in my PowerPoint, I have the insert, the cards, the design, the layout, and then this is that remix button I was telling you about. And so once you add the content, your preview of the content will be available over here. I just haven't added anything yet. And then this is how you play the presentation. And then this is how you collaborate. This is how you add authors. So if you want someone else to help you edit this way, this is the button you would use. And then if you want to share it with others as a presentation, maybe if you want to share the presentation with students, but you don't want to allow them to edit it, this is where you would go for that.
Josh, is there the option to embed this into Moodle?
There is actually. I was going to say that. So you can embed the Sways in Moodle and Blackboard. I've done them in Blackboard before. So you can take a Sway, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. The first thing I just want to do really quick is going along with this hurricane theme I brought up before. So let's say I'll type in Hurricane Sandy. I need to add an image, so I just click on that background image right here. And look, before I even typed in anything, Hurricane Sandy was the first option to pop up. I didn't even need to search anything. So I'll click on it. And then suggested results will come up, and then these are all images that I can choose from.
Does the search automatically go to the Creative Commons area?
Yeah. See, so this one right here, it says search results show images tagged with Creative Commons licenses. You can choose to uncheck that or keep that option checked, but it automatically goes to that.
Good.
One other feature that I forgot to mention, which is really cool, is the accessibility feature. So Sway actually has an accessibility checker built into it. So what I would do is you hit these three dots over here, and you just go to accessibility checker. And then it sees that I have one image here that I need to add an alternative text to, and it tells me how to do that. So it makes that really easy as well for students who might need those settings. So okay, so I added my background image to my title. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so that's my title right here. And then this is the background image I have so far. So now let's add, I want to include a map of where Hurricane Sandy hit. So I'm going to drop this embed card in here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to Bing Maps. And I'm going to type in Long Beach Island, since that's where Sandy hit. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit the share button. I'm going to get the embed code, and you can use this with any program. You can use it with a YouTube video. You can use it with a map. You can use it with Google Maps. Anywhere you can get an embed code pretty much you can use. And then I'm just going to copy and paste that in there. Oops. And now let's see what that looks like. So here's the map. See, and I can click and drag the map around. I can explore the map. I can zoom in and out. But I want to make it a little bit bigger, I think. So what I'm actually going to do is increase the size of it. I would need to get the new embed code since I chose that size, but basically that's how easy it is to change the size of something. I think something else I'm going to do too is I'm going to show you how you can compare some images. So I'm just going to, again, take this comparison, click and drag it here. Let's say I actually have some images that I saved to my desktop. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag the images right into the box. This is how easy it is to upload images if you have them saved already. And let's see what this looks like now. So this would be a before image, Hurricane Sandy. That would be an after image. And you can just compare the two like that. Okay. So now let's say I actually don't like how this is looking. I want to take some time. I say, you know what, I don't really like how this style looks. I don't like the color. I'm going to hit this remix button and see what this looks like. Okay, so now I have a purple background. And I like see how the font changed and everything. I can change it again.
There's no way that you can have a bunch of choices, or do you have to just keep clicking remix?
You can hit this design tab, and then these are the pre-made choices for you.
Okay.
Yep. So if I, yeah, so there's, yeah. And you can customize it a little bit. So you can kind of say, you know what, I want this color, I want this text, you know, animation, emphasis, text size. You can change a little bit of stuff, but mostly it keeps it pretty limited just to make it easier for you and to keep that, you know, remix option available. Does anyone else have any other questions so far?
So you're really skilled at this. Does the website have tutorials?
Yeah, there are tutorials, and it's a lot of Sway is just playing around. But if you actually go to education.microsoft.com, they have resources there as well. And I'm going to give you a link at the end so you can actually get credit for this presentation as well, that you attended this meeting. And you can check out the Microsoft Educator community because they have a lot of good stuff there. The great thing too with Sway is they give you a lot of different templates to start from. So if you are starting out with this, let's say this is my first time creating a Sway, I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I know that I wanted my students to, or let's say I wanted to send a newsletter home to my parents, my students' parents. There's a newsletter template right here that I could start from to get some ideas. So all I would do is I would just click here to edit this template, which is the edit button right here. And then so all I would do is I would just change the content, maybe change a couple images depending on what I was trying to send home. But then everything else is pretty much done for you. Same thing with students. If you wanted to have your students create a report, there's a student report template. Again, just go up to this edit button up here, which is the little pencil icon. And there you go, your students have a template to use already.
Are there any limitations to the free account, like number of sways you can have, or size?
So with a Microsoft account, this is all saved on, you know, through your Microsoft account. So you're given 5 gigabytes of storage with your free Microsoft account. Anything past that is when you have to, you know, start paying for OneDrive. So as long as you're under that 5 gigabyte limit, you're fine.
Can I ask how you share the templates out to students?
Yes. So let's say this was a student report template that you wanted to share with your students, and you say, this is how I want your report done. I want you to use this tool. What you could do is you can do a couple different things. So let's say you wanted to create groups. You could actually create the different sways per group and then just add the authors and send this link to them. And so this is the authoring link right here. So if you send this link to them, this means that they are able to edit the presentation. They can share it with others. They can access it from any device. If you want to just share the presentation, like let's say maybe you were presenting to students where you don't want them to be able to edit it, but you still want them to be able to access the presentation, at home for notes or homework or things like that, that's where you would go to the share, okay? And so what you'd want to do is you want to share or just me, and then you can here's the more options. So you can require a password to sign in or view the sway. You can share it with only your organization, anyone with the link, which is the one I would use if you're sharing this with your students, because it's not searchable through the sway database. Or public is, let's say you wanted to make a public presentation that anyone can view just by searching through the collection of sways on sway.com. That would be the option you would choose. Did that answer your question? Yep, cool. Does anyone else have any questions? No? Okay. I'm going to go back to my sway that I started for this. I just want to show you a couple of different options or other different features. So you asked about audio before. So this is where that audio card would come in. So I just click that audio card. I include it here. And then let's say your students recorded themselves presenting on a topic and they have it timed out. This is where you would just drag and drop the audio file. You can either click on it or you can drag and drop it and search for it here, just like you would upload any file to, say, Moodle or Blackboard or anything like that. This is the tweeting card that I mentioned before. So remember when I was talking about, let's say you were doing the Paris Climate Agreement, you could type in Hurricane Sandy, you could type in whatever you wanted the topic to be, and then this would be the social media for a specific hashtag or a specific topic that's public and on Twitter. So you can see what other people are saying and things like that. Now I want to go back to this cards. Let's say I wanted to add a bunch of different images at once for students to kind of scroll through, or let's say, I mentioned you could add a PowerPoint presentation that you saved. This is where you can do that. So let's just say I'm going to add this image right there. Okay, so this is just how you add cards. It's so simple to just drag and drop. This is how you change the layout. So for example, right now I have it scrolling vertically, so I have to go up and down. And I can change all the sizes of these too. So let's say I wanted these pictures to be bigger. You just go back to your cards, and this is how you change the size right here. Or I can make it even bigger. Let's take a look at what that looks like now.
Can you drag and drop to reorder the slide or the cards if you wanted them to be in a different?
Yes. So let's say I wanted this this video to be before this picture. All I would do is I would click on that and I would drag it so that green line goes above that image, and that will show up before the card now. And then this is the video. I'm not going to play it, but.
And once you're done with your presentation,
Mm-hmm.
you save it, and then
it saves automatically. So every time you would want to access this, you would just go to sway.com, sign in, and click on your presentation from the home screen.
and if we want students to, if we wanted to view a student's sway, we would have to have their URL, or can they be uploaded to YouTube, or?
They would, so for that you would want them to submit their URL to you, so their link. So again, this link right here, or one of these links, is what you would want them to submit as as the artifact. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change the size of some things, make these a little bit bigger. And then I'm just going to play this so you can see what it looks like. So this is it. And then my mouse isn't working right now, but of course you can scroll up and down. Well, let's do this.
Does it automatically cycle, or do you have to click it to transition?
So you can either, it depends on that navigation that you chose. So if you have it scrolling, you can just, with your mouse, your scroller, go up and down. Or if you choose the presentation style, you would have to click through it. It doesn't automatically play, though. You do have to do the scrolling yourself. So it's not like PowerPoint where you can say stay on the slide for 30 seconds and then move on. And then here's my comparison. Here's my map. Alrighty. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, so I'm just trying to figure out how this rolls. It's not like a poster like Glogster. The one that you showed of the cows kind of reminded me of a poster. It was, you were scrolling up and down, correct?
Correct. So you can choose, you can have it scroll up and down, more of like a web page would, you would scroll through the web page, or you can have it go like, you can have it go horizontally. So what I'll do is I'll change this right now just to show you that. So all I did is I just went to that layout button and I clicked the horizontal option. And now I'm able to scroll this way like a storybook. So it kind of depends on the goal of your presentation and what you want your audience, what the topic is and things like that.
So each of those, I want to call it like a template there. Are they each cards? You're calling them cards?
Correct, yeah. So this cards tab, these are the different cards you can include on the left here. So there's an image card, there's a video card, there's a tweet card, audio, embed, and then the different grouping, which is where you can include a lot of different images or slideshows or presentations.
So, depending on what you're using there, each of those cards will be a different size. So you could feasibly get to 5 gigs quickly, correct?
I mean, you could, but I mean, these presentations don't take up a lot of space because they're all web-based, so I haven't done that yet. And I've created a lot of these, but, if you use a lot of video or audio, there is that potential. But this is it's not easy to do. So yeah, and like, oh, go ahead.
Is that the tutorials in the upper right-hand corner? Is that the, does that go through all the different ways to create a?
Correct, yeah, so these are video tutorials. So I'm not going to play them, but if you go here, this is a whole list of tutorials that you can go through.
Okay.
And they're hosted on YouTube. And like I said, if you go to that Microsoft Educator community as well, there are also a lot of tutorials and resources there that you can use as well. But going back to you were mentioning the size of the cards. I don't know if this is what you're referring to, but I'm able to change the size of each picture with these icons right here. And also, I'll just show you how to do text really quickly. So let's say I type in Hurricane Sandy and I want to bold something. This is just where you would emphasize the text. You can accent it, which is basically italicizing it. And you can also include lists and numbers. So you do have your very basic functions like you would in a Word document to edit your text within the cards. Or you can add a video heading just to show you what a heading looks like. And then these two arrows is how you navigate, again, between your preview and your cards. So this might be what a heading looks like in this design. Or again, if I don't like this design, I can remix it. And see, so now the video heading is up here and it's blue. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you the presentation code and the link to the Microsoft Educator community where you can check out those other resources and where you can go explore Sway and also get credit for attending this presentation if you choose to sign up for the Educator community. So I'm going to go just stop sharing my screen for 1 second. Okay, so I know it's a bit of a long code, but right here is if you enter this code into your Microsoft community, you get a badge for attending this presentation. If you choose to do that, and you just do that by visiting the education.microsoft.com. And I'm happy to take this time to answer any other questions. I'm going to check out the chat box in a few minutes just to see if there are any questions there that I didn't answer.
Josh, could you put the training code in the chat?
I can do that, yeah.
Thanks.
I just did that for you guys.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Erica.
Not a problem.
So again, it's definitely a really cool tool to use. Like I said, you can use it on any device. The accessibility checker makes it really easy to make sure that you know you're abiding by all guidelines that you need to when using digital content. The Creative Commons is built right into it, so you don't have to worry about getting pictures that you're not allowed to use. It's a really cool tool for both teachers and students.
All right, well, thank you so much. For Delhi faculty, at least, I have used Sway for a couple presentations, and I'm also available to help you guys out if you don't find what you need online. So if there are any more questions, I'll go ahead and end this meeting.